Oh, did I hit the live? I did. Hi, welcome if you're joining me live. Do I have this thing set up right? Okay, I do. Hi, I'm never going to be great at like YouTube live when it's all cute and shiny like this. Hi, this is Oki and he is my baby and absolutely demands to be on my lap during all of the things. So, okay. The last time I had an absolute crash out because, can y'all hear me? I see thumbs up, but can y'all hear me? I had an absolute crash out because I like messed up my screen and the view and all the things, and that was a hot mess express. So I'm just, drop a comment if you can hear me. Here's to hoping that I don't mess it up, because I'm going to switch on my screen and show y'all like a cute pie chart if I can do it right. Otherwise, like, it'll be a disaster. So there's that. Okay. Cool. Welcome. I think I have the crash out. Oh my God. Stop cursing myself. I think I have the comments set up. Let me know if you can hear me. And yeah, we're going to go from there. Okay. Let me pull up my notes too, because after my meltdown last time, I was like, I had better be prepared. I had better be ready and like have all my little screens in all the right places. Okay. So, quick recap. This is Snackable offers to six figures. This is the third in this series that I'm doing because I'm doing this, live training tomorrow, which if you're not yet registered, please sign up. There's a QR code in the upper right-hand corner of this screen. Oh my God, there's a bug on my monitor. It's a stink bug. I might lose my mind. Why are my lives so chaotic? Anyway, if you are not yet registered, okay, sir, I'm gonna need you to go away. Okay, I swatted it. If you're not yet registered for tomorrow's training, it is damaju.com/YT100, or you can point your phone at the little QR code in the upper right-hand corner of this, which may or not be occluded. I don't know. All vibes here, all chaos. So this is episode 3 of the six Snackable offers to six-figure series, all leading up to my live tomorrow. So for the first one, I talked about why, in my opinion, the signature Coursera, the Amy P, the Marie Forleo method of like create a self-study course, launch it, about nothing else but that for the rest of the year, like that's all you do kind of model. I think that worked in 2020 and 2021, and I don't think it works anymore. I do still think that, and some people really had their feelings hurt or triggered by that, had strong feelings. In fact, my content on that got a lot of likes. It was resonating with the right people, but the people who were commenting were actually like low-key my friends and peers who were just like very triggered by it. And I was like, oh, hit a nerve. I will say that I do think that signature programs are still a thing, but it's not for everybody. It's not for the creative who just wants to create. It's not for the creative who has lots of ideas and cannot force themselves to relaunch the same thing over and over and over again. I see you, I hear you, I am you. So I definitely get that. The second episode, if you didn't check it out, was the 6 kinds of digital products, snackable offers, in my opinion, that are still selling, that I'm buying, that people are selling, that are still doing well, that aren't like high touch things like a group program or a membership where you have to show up and be super involved. They're like low ticket, here you go and stay blessed kind of offers. Those are still selling and still bringing people into into your world. Those are still selling for me. I'm still buying them. I know my friends are. So there's a lot of strategy to that. We're going to talk about that tomorrow and obviously deeper in the your next 100 program. But yeah, that was the last episode. So you can catch the replay. I'll put the link in the description. So today we're talking about CartStart. CartStart this is kind of like a case study for CartStart. Why I created it, which is low-key wild, and how I positioned it in my business. This is super key, and how I got my first and last, like as in most recent 20 sales of it. And that's where I have a little pie chart for you that I hope to successfully share. Okay, so CartStart. And why does it matter, right? Let's talk about it. So CartStart is, I was working as a funnel builder, and I was working in ThriveCart every single day, building checkouts for people, building checkouts, building affiliate programs, setting up their courses, all of the things. I was in ThriveCart every single day. I was like the girl, and people still call me the ThriveCart queen or whatever. Like, I am that ThriveCart fairy. Like, I am in it every single day and have been for years, since 7 years now. Yeah, yikes. So yes, I love ThriveCart. I'm very good at it. But at the time, so this is going back to 2022, which is when I created CartStart, I was in people's ThriveCart accounts every single day. People hired me for my skill and my expertise. So you would think that my next natural thought was, I'm going to create a ThriveCart course, and like, for whoever can't hire me can just do this, right? I didn't actually think that. I was really enjoying doing done for you work. And I also just thought, I don't know if I have the time. Like, I'm so busy as a ThriveCart as a service provider. I'm booked out, and I was like doing Airtable setups and building Zaps for people and writing emails and doing all the things. There was a lot going on. I also had just started selling ThriveCart templates. When I released my first ThriveCart templates, it was sold as like a little bundle of them. There was no order bump. There was an upsell on there of a pre-sale of some ThriveCart sales pages. But like, I was very focused on the template shop and building ThriveCartTemplateshop.com and selling more of those templates, because even if you bought a template, like, my brain was like, you can still hire me to set it up and to be your person. But I was very focused on that, on the client work and on the template side. I didn't start thinking about creating courses at that time. What's really funny though is, as the template shop was taking off, and then I was hosting a bundle, and I was just like, things were happening and things were moving in my business, I decided to let go of my clients, my retainer clients. So my biggest client, somebody I had worked with for 3 years, and I don't know if she's on the live today, but this directly involves you. I let her know that I was really going to double down on going all in on my digital product business and sort of building for myself. If you've seen any of my content or emails, I was tired of being the bridesmaid and supporting someone else's, like seeing someone else, like seeing my ideas and my strategy and my work build up other people's businesses without leaving me any room to build up my own. I wanted to be the bride. I wanted to be that girl with her offers and her passive income. So I let go of all my retainer clients in, I want to say that was February of 2022. And I still, my client had just paid for the month, and I was like, I'm still with you for this month. What would you like to do for the next 30 days? And I thought she was going to have me build a million things in her business. And she surprised me with, we use ThriveCart because you set it up for us, but I don't know how to use it. Can you teach me how to use it? I was like, what? Teach you how to use ThriveCart? Like, I think she thought that would be something that we could do in like a quick 20-minute call. And I was like, no, there's a lot of elements. There's a lot of things I've set up for you. That's going to be, you have the affiliate program, you have the courses, you have this, you have that. It's complex. So at first my immediate reaction was to just say, no, I can't like just teach you. I mean, like, what do you want to do? Like, how does that even work? And I sat down and thought about it. This is her number one priority for her work with me. I've already gotten my 4-figure retainer payment, and this is what she has said she wants. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to create her like the ultimate ThriveCart guide. I was going to build it in Notion, and then it dawned on me, not me building a course, but then like just leaving it in this person's hands. Like, what am I doing here? So that's kind of the wild start to why I created ThriveCart. I was already selling ThriveCart templates. I was selling done for you work, but it was a natural next step to, how can I teach people how to do this to empower them to do it on their own? Because people were buying ThriveCart from me with my affiliate link. People were buying ThriveCart templates from me. This was such a natural next step. Like, they got a template because it's beautiful and I, was on sale or whatever, but they didn't know how to use it, right? So it was such a natural next step. And my client was absolutely fine with me spending my time, my remaining month with her, to just teach her how to use it. So I sat down in my favorite like mind map software and mapped out a course in 20 minutes, literally mapped out the entire thing in 20 minutes, recorded it in a day or two. And before I even started editing the content or building a sales page or doing all the things, I started pre-selling it. I started selling it and making money from it, from my growing audience who was really interested in the ThriveCart side templates and stuff, before I was even finished editing. It had no sales page. It had no checkout page. Okay, so that was like such a turning point for me, because I realized a lot of people, including the Amy P's or whatever of the world, are saying build your audience and then build your course and then do a launch of it. I was not doing that. I was like, we're going to take the plane, I'm going to take off from the ground and I'm going to build it now in the air, because I am that girl and I can do it. So let's get into how I positioned CartStart in my business, and how I got my first 20 sales. So, and I will give you stats as long as I can get these slides to cooperate with me. So this is the whole ecosystem in your next 100 and the Snackable offer ecosystem. This is the whole, it's not just a course that I create once, I sell, I launch, and then I never and then I just have to keep launching it. It has to fit into the bigger picture. And we're going to talk about the ecosystem tomorrow on the live and how you can, mentally wrap your mind around that. But CartStart, it's basically a ThriveCart 101 course. And honestly, it's the natural entry point for anyone who just bought ThriveCart, is about to, just bought a template, but doesn't actually know how to use their ThriveCart account, thought they knew how to use ThriveCart, but keep getting stuck on things like coupons and how to create a course and all of how do you actually design this? Why won't this button change colors? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I set it up so that when somebody buys, they then get enrolled in my course? Like, how do I do all the things? So it's such a natural next step for me. I'm sort of embarrassed that I didn't think of it first, but hey, once the idea was planted, I was like, yes, I am running with this. So CartStart still sells in my business every single, month or whatever to this day. But it's not just a ThriveCart 101 course, because there are other ThriveCart 101 courses out there. There are people, as far as I know, I was the first one to really create a comprehensive one, but I'm not the last. There are others out there that don't have 492 students, that don't have too many testimonials that I can't even add to the sales page of people saying, I had CartStart open in one screen and my ThriveCart account in the other, and that's how I got my first checkout created. I go back to it, and that's how I got my first course created. That's how I created my first order bump. I learned so much, right? There's a lot of other ThriveCart courses out there, but they're not part of an ecosystem. And that's sort of the beauty in this whole thing. Because once somebody, it makes sense for it to be a starting point. If you've got ThriveCart or you're just about to buy it, or you bought it but have no clue how to use it, it's a natural entry point. But you'll see from the numbers, that's not usually what happens. I'll loop back around to that. But once they are in my ecosystem, CartStart is an absolute must-have, no easy yes, no-brainer, whatever. It's just a natural next step because of the way I built my ecosystem. Because I have other ThriveCart offers: how to create an affiliate program, how to make your course, beautiful and useful from an instructional design perspective, how to set up a membership inside ThriveCart. I have all these other offers that CartStart naturally leads into, the templates, the this, the that, and also can come from. And so that's that whole ecosystem beauty. So I sell it. So I position it as this must-have, easy yes. It's a natural yes in my business because it connects to all my other offers. And it also connects backwards. So somebody buys a template, realizes, I can't use a template until I actually set up the cart. And how do I do that? How do I add a bump? Can I do coupon codes? They realize, okay, they bought a template and then they need it because, they need help with the actual text side of it. Natural next step for CartStart. So none of that is accidental. That's very intentional positioning. The idea to create this course was low-key an accident, or kind of I don't know, fate, whatever, if you believe in that. But the way that I position it in my ecosystem, very intentional, not at all an accident. This offer was built to connect and to serve. So, it's really not a surprise to me that it has done as well for me as it has for as long as it has. Okay, so let's talk about those first and last 20 sales in my business. So as I mentioned, I recorded it in a day or two. I hadn't created a sales page, the course, platform. I hadn't actually created the course yet. I was still editing videos and doing all those things. But I wanted to start making money from it right away, because there is this dopamine of like, I'm getting paid to do what I know I'm excellent at this. I can continue. Editing is drudgery. I can keep doing this because people want this, and they have demonstrated they wanted this by opening their wallet. So I started pre-selling it pretty much ASAP. Like as soon as I mapped it out and cranked out the recording, I was like, oh, this is really good. I'm going to absolutely start selling this now. I didn't announce it on my email list. I didn't post about it on social, and I was pre-selling it before this bad boy was even ready. I basically just ordered it as an order bump on all of my templates, which were already selling without me talking about them. People were just heard word of mouth about my templates and wanted to launch and grabbed a template and then saw that order bump. And so word was spreading about this before it ever formally launched. ThriveCart users were looking for this, and it was really just like, yeah, I'm so glad that I created it. Somebody needed to. So the first sales came in way before I was done with any of it. And that was really exciting. I actually took note as I was prepping for this. Marianne, shout out to you if you're still in the audience or if you're still here, because Marianne, you were the first ever person to buy CartStart, and that, like, I could hug you. I could kiss you. You're amazing. Shout out to Marianne. So anyway, CartStart and the positioning of it met people where they were. They had the tool or they had a template, but they didn't know how to use it. And so it was just such a natural next step. So let's get into some of the sales aspects of it. Does it work? I did it! Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. Okay. So I've sold CartStart at 5 different price points in my business, depending on how I position it, where I'm launching it, blah, 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 blah. And that does not include Black Friday sales or any like anniversary sales or discounts or anything like that. So I have sold it as a bump at 2 different price points. I've sold it in 2 different evergreen funnels. One is an affiliate funnel and one is a amazing bundle specific funnel that I've never taught, but I will be teaching live for your next 100 students, probably in June. I can't believe I've never taught that, and I've been doing it since 2022. I've never seen anyone else do it, and it's low-key genius. Yeah, June, coming soon. How I set up an evergreen funnel like super lazy with ThriveCart, specifically for bundle customers, which is, bundle and summit customers, which is a big source of leads for me. I've also sold it as a standalone course. No webinar, no freebie, just like rock up to my sales page. A surprising 33% of people have bought CartStart just by rocking up to the sales page, because I did eventually create a sales page later in the year. I think I got my first sale of this in like April of 2022. By November, maybe December, I finally got around to creating a sales page. It already had gotten, I should have looked up this stat, but I think it might have already had 100 students in it. I don't know. It was selling really well as a bump, but I was like, I should make this available as a sales page, because then people came back to me and were like, I want to buy this. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it's available as a bump. So like I needed to create a sales page eventually. I did. But since then, I have had 33% of my lifetime sales come from people rocking up to the sales page. No webinar, no freebie, no funnel, like clicked on the sales page, decided to buy it. 48%. Wait, am I looking at the right stats? 33%. I think I gave, 48% have come from an order bump, and that's from the very beginning as a pre-sale and even to this day. I do have it bundled in a few things. I used to sell something called the ThriveCart Jumpstart Kit, the ThriveCart Crush It Kit, which was like a bundle of different offers. It's inside the Dama Vault, so which is my everything offer type thing, my all access pass type thing. So 5% of people have gotten it bundled. But yeah, you can see this is just a glimpse of the ecosystem, because each and every single one of these, there's a different strategy. So as a bump, the strategy on the bump is unique and different in multiple ways. The strategy on the evergreen funnel, there's 2 funnels connected to it, and they're very, very different. The standalone, there's the positioning and angles and how I market that. Very, very, there's a lot of things that it could spiral out to, but I was like, let me keep this concise And then the bundling, there's 2 strategies that I mentioned right there. I had it in the Crush It kit and also at my Dama Ball. So there's a lot of ways. I hate the phrase, how to skin a cat. It's so gross, but there's a lot of ways to get to 100 sales, or in this case, to nearly 500 sales. Lots of different ways. There's actually some other strategies that are not even mentioned here because they funnel into each of these. So it's building this ecosystem. It's putting it in front of people at the right place, at the right time, at the right price point. And there's a skill and a strategy to that. So yeah, I am so pleased to say that I have now almost had 500 sales of this offer since 2022 without doing big promos or launches. I thought I hadn't done a single launch of it. I did. It turns out when I finally created the sales page, I just realized this like last night at 11 o'clock at night, so I didn't get a chance to fix my slide, but I did do a couple of emails back in 2022 when I finally had that sales page created, and some people joined at that point. But it's a small percentage of this, and I have never relaunched it since. I've never done a dedicated promo for it or like relaunched it since. I've never run ads to it. I've never set up like a freebie funnel, like get this free guide to X, Y, and Z, and then you get put into a 7. Like I haven't ever done it. I've never run ads to it. I've never done any of that. It's just being in my ecosystem and the positioning and how to set that up, and then all the little levers I can pull in my business to get those sales coming in. So I've even given it as an affiliate bonus. As I mentioned, it's in one of my affiliate funnels. So that's how the first 10 or 20, the first 20 sales were a mix of order bumps. The majority were order bumps. Some people were like, I didn't buy the bump and I regretted it. Can I just buy it? And I just created like a quick checkout, not a sales page. So some were direct sales after having seen it as a bump. Most were a bump. The last 20 sales, so I made a bunch of sales of this in the last 30 days. I think it was 9 sales, and the majority of them came as an order bump, but I did have somebody buy through the evergreen funnel in the last 30 days. So yeah, I mean, the system that worked in 2022 is still working in 2026, despite all the things. So let me go back to my other, okay, I did it. There we go. So yeah, that's how I got my first and my last 20 sales, and actually all of my sales. I got paid to make it, like literally got paid to make it in 2022. Started pre-selling it before it was even done, before there was a course, before there was a checkout, before the videos were even edited, and it has been paying me back ever since. I love to see people join this program, not only because like it feels good to see that my system works, but also because I know that they're just going to be better at ThriveCart. You cannot believe how many people I've talked to who are like, yeah, I bought ThriveCart in 2020, but I've never touched it because I don't know how to use it. And I'm just waiting to hire a VA to set it up for me. And I'm like, babe, get CartStart. Open it up on one screen and have your ThriveCart on the other and go through the thing and actually set up your first checkout. I cannot tell you how many people I've met who bought ThriveCart and don't use it because they don't know how. Meanwhile, CartStart is chilling right there, like, hi, it's me. I'm the solution. So, yeah, amazing results with this. But it's not. Oh, okay. I was going to also say before we got to questions, why I never did a formal launch of it. I didn't need to. It was selling. I wish I had actually looked at this stat, but maybe I'll throw that in the PS of my next email. I never looked at this stat, but before I did a couple, like I actually built the sales page and sent a few emails about it, which was like late December, maybe 2022. I'm curious how many I'd already sold. I bet you it was at least 50. Like I would have been happy at 100 sales lifetime, but I'm sitting at 500 because I never stopped going. But this is one of those things that when it fits in your ecosystem and it just makes sense, I didn't need to do a dedicated launch of it. I was doing just fine without. And if I had never done it, still would be sitting in this 400 plus sales. The system basically made that unnecessary. Now, don't get me wrong. I still like to launch my offers. I can really only do it once. But I still like to do that because it's fun. It gives me data. It gets people excited. It does boost sales, but it doesn't have to be the way every single time. A lunch would have been great. Like it would have been a one-time spike, or I could do this once a year and see an uptick in sales. But I like to see the sales come in when I'm not even thinking about CartStart. CartStart is like my very good, quiet middle child that I never have to worry about and check on. It just quietly like cleans its room and puts its dishes in the plates, and such a good little baby. So anyway, strong argument for building the system means that you get to launch it once, or even make that launch optional if you want, and then you're done. And then it just, as long as you set up all the spokes and all the levers and the things that we'll be talking about in your next 100, you get to keep making sales of it without having to talk about it, without invoking its beautiful little name, right? Would have been good with 100 sales. 492 is bananas, and I love it. But you really don't hit 492 sales of the current price of CartStart, evergreen regular price. And yes, people buy and have bought at this price is $297. If I did a launch of a $297 thing without a webinar, I don't think, with all of my marketing skill that I have in my little bag of tricks, I could get to 492 sales. I know I can't. I might make like 40 or 50 and be ecstatic with that. But I know I would not get to 492 sales. I just know. Like, I probably need an audience size of like 50,000 and ads and this and that. And like, I don't know. I don't think I could do it all by itself. But that's the beauty of it snowballing and growing, and the cumulative, and the fact that it does not live full time in my brain. I don't have to talk about it. It just quietly does the work behind the scenes. That is the beauty of the Snackable offer ecosystem that I'm teaching in your next 100. So, yeah. Okay. Let's move on to questions. Oh, before I get to questions, and I kind of alluded to this, the way that I created it was sort of unintentional. Like, I didn't actually plan on creating that. That has not been the case for any of my other offers. 4x4 photos maybe. But like some of my other offers, there's more intentionality behind why and when I created them. But that doesn't matter. Your ideas can come to you like walking your dog, doing dishes, sitting in the bathtub or whatever, wherever your ideas, driving is always the one for me when I get ideas. It doesn't matter where they come from or if you 100% know how it's going to fit into your ecosystem. The intentionality comes with once you create and want to sell the thing. The intentionality is building it into your ecosystem, being intentional with how you plan on getting those sales, and not just, I created it, it lives on my website. That's enough, right? It's not enough. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to wrap up here. I just spent the last 20 or so minutes walking you through this one offer, but to be honest, CartStart is just one of many offers in my ecosystem that works this way. The mechanics behind why CartStart works the way it does, that's your next 100. That's the Snackable offer ecosystem. It's not a fluke. It's not the only one in my business. It's not because it's special. It's not because it's the only ThriveCart 101 course out there. Lord knows it's not. Or because I'm special or gifted. Like, I'm not, I didn't even have the idea. My client gave it to me. But yeah, or because teaching ThriveCart is some magic niche. Trust me, it's not. It comes with its whole own bag of problems, but it's the ecosystem. I have lots of others offers like this. It's not a fluke. So many other offers where the story is never, I only made sales when I did a launch. It works because of the system around it. That system, the whole thing, how you build it, how you connect it to your offers, how you set up all the levers and all the spokes and all the things that actually keep them selling without you. I've never walked anyone through my thought process. I'm talking about it tomorrow live. So come tomorrow. If you're not yet registered for the How to Get to 100 Sales of Every Offer You Create, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. It's also in the description. Make sure you come live because I like to take questions on the webinar. And once I'm on there, I'm not going to end until we've gotten to all of the questions. I will sit there with y'all and answer your questions. So if you're not yet registered, just drop the link there, scan the QR code, come hang out live, come ask your questions. There will be a replay, will be sent by email within 24 hours with timestamps and subtitles and all the jazz, speed control. You know how I do. I want to make things accessible and approachable to you. Let me know if y'all want it as a private podcast feed too, because some people really prefer that while they're out for a walk or walking, doing dishes or breastfeeding or whatever it is. So, okay. Any questions? So that was it. That was episode 3 of the Snackable offers to 6 figures. Talked about why the old model isn't enough or doesn't work for most brains. Maybe you're neurodivergent. Maybe you're just a creator who gets bored. Maybe you are a service provider who doesn't want to launch a DIY course, 3 times a year exclusively. Like, it's just not it. You have so many other things that you want to do. And you also know that big courses are really hard to get people to actually go through for whatever your reasons. Maybe you're a one-on-one coach, whatever. You can build an ecosystem like this, and it can take you to a very healthy income stream, or it can, like it did for me, replace done for you work, and has since 2022. This is my business. This is how I run it. A lot of people have had me on podcasts and asked me, how do I make it work? I've never really shared it. So we're going live tomorrow to talk about it. Tomorrow's the call to noon. It's going to be on Zoom. You'll be able to see your friends. Come hype me up. Like, if we're friends, come hype me up in the chat. That is like so appreciated. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to build this for yourself in 2026, the door's open to your next 100. Right after the live training, or right on the live training. And anyone who joins within the first 48 hours gets a free, like me, not AI, me or my assistant, the brilliant Danny, will be in your ThriveCart account building your sales page for you. Not a checkout, a full sales page, mobile optimized, your images, your branding, your copy, ready to go. So you can start selling and start getting to working your way up to 100 sales of your next digital product. Okay. Cool. Any questions? I'm going to go dig up the comments, the chat. Melissa says that's a powerful analogy. Thank you, Melissa. Love you, girl. Let me see. I don't see a name here. TFM stories. I wonder how I could make this work in my niche, kind of health, wellness, healing. I help mostly moms after they lost a baby in pregnancy. Wow. Incredibly powerful niche and mission. I have meditations, videos, not tech stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I got this question just before the live, just before I hit live on this, which is why I was like a minute late. Somebody was like, I teach crafting, not tech. So how will this work for me? So yes, I'm going to go over that tomorrow on the live. So there'll be a portion of the live training where, when I'm walking it through, I'll walk through how this works for the B2B, for the B2C, because this is not just for funnel people. This is not just for people who teach ThriveCart. So I recommend, if you can, come live. Oh, I did the thing again. I lost the comments. There it is. Okay. Good question. Thank you for asking it. You also said, I think you are special. I like the way you teach and how you talk about the strategies behind why this and that is selling. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. Sabrina. Oh, hi, Sabrina. Nice to see you. Okay, great. Any other questions about CartStart, about how I got to nearly 500 sales? Like, it'll probably hit 500 sales any minute now, which is a celebration. I should celebrate the heck out of that, because I think, other than my Google Doc training, because I have these low ticket trainings, the Google Doc one, email service, matchmaker, my Zoom one called Replay Ready. Oh my God, it's so valuable. And my Airtable Forms one. So I have 4 like low ticket, under $10 offers, and those all have well over 500 sales, but I don't think of the other ones, any of them has reached 500. So that's something to celebrate. Big win for CartStart. Any other questions for me about this? Okay, let me just bring this back up in case you wanted to have another peeky at the stats. I knew that the bump for CartStart was significant. I didn't know how significant until I actually sat down at 11 o'clock last night and pulled the stats, pulled all the lifetime sales, and saw how it worked. And as I was prepping this, it's so affirming to see how it works, and also to be able to share some of this with you tomorrow. Okay, awesome. Sabrina's coming tomorrow. Hope y'all can join me live. And if you can't, don't worry about it. The replay will be there. And I'm not one of those people who's like, if you're on live, then you get XYZ bonus. I would love to have you live because it's good for me, because I get questions, and also it's just good for me energetically. I love to have people on live. Special shout out to the people who, can come even for a little bit. But even if you don't, I'm not one of those people who does if you're on now live, then you get X bonus, or since you stayed to the end. I don't think that's time zone inclusive. My friends in Australia would kill me. So don't worry about that. You'll be able to catch the replay within within 24 hours. Probably I'll just have it uploaded that evening after I go outside and sit in the patio in the sun with my dog to take a little break. All right, y'all. Thank you for your questions. Oh, I see one more question from, I did the thing. I messed it up. I see one more question from Sabrina. What exactly does, Jessica will be there. Yay, Jessica. What exactly does standalone mean? Like they just bought it off your website. Yeah. So standalone means, so what Sabrina's asking about is here, the 33% of sales came from somebody just clicking onto my sales page and buying. Where they came from, that's sort of what I was talking about with which within each of these, there's a spoke, there's a lever, a strategy that I use to get those sales. And there's many, so many different ways that I get people onto a sales page and actually convert them into a sale. But yeah, that's more detailed than we'll be covering. But yeah, it means that they clicked on the sales page. There was no freebie. There was no evergreen funnel. They bought the price that day. They bought it at that price that day, either the $297 full price, or maybe they got it, with a discount or some other thing. That's all in your first 100. Cool. Okay, I'm going to wrap it here because I wanted to keep these to 30 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me live. And if you've come to all of the lives, I know who you are and I love you and I owe you a big hug. And your next latte is on me. All right, y'all. Bye. See you tomorrow live. See ya.